Drug abuse in adolescence. Community can be defined as a group of people with common interests living in a particular area. The adolescent community struggles with drug abuse and misuse of prescription drugs. According to the CDC on November 22, 2024, in an article named Substance Abuse Among Youth, it is stated that 15% of high school students reported having ever used select illicit or injection drugs, cocaine, inhalants, heroin, methamphetamines, hallucinogens, or ecstasy. 14% of students reported misusing prescription opioids. Adolescents are being exposed to different drugs too early in life that can cause addictions, overdose, health risks, and even death, and nothing is being done to stop it. Students and families are not being educated on the true effects of drugs and how they can harm the future of these children. Many parents are oblivious to the fact that their child is using drugs, whether it be because of permissive, authoritarian, or uninvolved parenting, which negatively affects the children, leading them to unwanted addictions and secrecy from their parents and families. In an article from 2013 titled Adolescent Drug Abuse, Awareness and Prevention, authors Chakravarthi, Bharth, Shah, Shyam, Lotfipur, and Sharam stated, NIDA lists several factors that can enhance or mitigate adolescent risks for initiating or continuing to abuse drugs. These factors include exposure to drugs, socioeconomic status, quality of parenting, peer group influence, and biological inherent predisposition towards drug abuse. Peer pressure is one of the many reasons kids do things they might not initially think of doing themselves. Kids would rather try something that can harm them instead of losing a few of those popular friends. This is a huge problem. Many of these problems also go hand in hand with parent-child relationships. In an article from 2024 named Parent-Child Conflict, a Risk Factor for Substance Abuse Among Adolescents, authors Amina Parveen and Shazia Jan stated, future adults' mental health depends on their ability to form strong attachments with their parents. According to Boutlier et al., 2009, a parent's steadfast focus on their child's needs results in the internalization of an attachment model and the growth of a loving relationship, both of which are regarded to be the foundation for the development of attachment in young children. Parent and child relationships are very important when it comes to morals and education of the child. If the parents act more like a friend than a mother or father and let the child do, say, and get away with whatever they want in their life, it will only lead to bad habits that the child will pick up, whether that's from the parent or the peers around them. In health class during high school years, drug abuse is briefly talked about. The lesson is usually saying something along the lines of doing drugs is bad for you and to stay away from them and the pressure of people around you. To some, this is harder than it seems. Kids are not given the correct information about these harsh realities, they are not being informed, and it is severely harming them later on in life. There needs to be a change in the school system to keep drugs away from kids while still informing them of what they are and the harm they can do. While this will help educate them in school, there is so much else that goes on outside of the 35 hours of schooling children attend in a week. There are 168 hours in a week. With 35 of those being spent in school, kids have 133 hours where they are out in the world. Most of the time, these kids are hanging out with their friends and their parents do not know where they are or what they're doing. This responsibility falls heavily on the parents to be keeping track of their kids. So while new precautions need to be put in place to educate students, they also need to be put in place for parents. Many parents may be foreign and not understand what really happens in their kids' lives or in the world around them, and others could be abusing drugs themselves, which go into the nature versus nurture aspect of how kids are raised. Regardless of that, students and families all need to be educated and aware of potential addictions and health problems that can come from drugs. For the students, there should be informational mandatory courses that they all go through beginning that they should all go through beginning in middle school and should continue on throughout high school. These classes will be put in place to educate students on the effects of drug use and how it can affect their bodies, life, and the life of people around them. Along with this, there should also be locker/bag checks that are for the purpose of keeping drugs outside of school, and those that are found in possession of them need to have serious punishment, as well as a talk with the parents and check of the house to see where the drugs are coming from. There also should be courses put in place for parents. Once their child reaches a certain age, they should be more informed on what could be going on and what signs they should be looking for when it comes to drug use. They also need to be informed on how to get ahead of the problem before it becomes something that is not needed, like an addiction. In an article from 2010 titled Evidence-Based Interventions for Preventing Substance Use Disorder in Adolescents, the authors Kenneth Griffin and Gilbert Botvin stated, "Schools are the focus of most attempts to develop and test evidence-based approaches to adolescent drug use prevention. School-based efforts are efficient in that they offer access to large numbers of students. School is one place where there is a large amount of kids all around the same ages to sit down and inform about drug use." Some issues could be objections to these new protocols. There could be backlash received from students that think there is no reason for them to sit and listen to a course about drug abuse if it doesn't pertain to them in that current moment of their life. They also may think that locker and bag checks for drugs may be an invasion of privacy. While these are all valid reasons for objections, these precautions are needed to ensure that there will be a decrease in drug abuse and misuse of prescription drugs in adolescents. And the percentage of drug use in kids, specifically in high school, is at a high that should never be reached for these kids. The amount of teens and kids that think it's okay to use drugs and that there will be no consequences are greatly mistaken and need to be informed about the harm that they can cause. This is why the classes should be put in place during high school and middle school years before it's too late to help these kids.